Hi guys and welcome to the FIFA 23 video. Today guys, I'm going to be talking to you about how ones to watch cards can upgrade in FIFA 23. Do they differ compared to FIFA 22? Well, yes, slightly they do, in that the way they upgrade for the domestic team performances, I think, has slightly changed. Like the criteria to be able to hit, I think, has changed very, very slightly compared to FIFA 22. And also, there is a third different pathway that's been included this year as to how ones to watch cards can receive further additional upgrades, and we'll get on to that a little bit later on in the video. But first of all, yes, the ones to watch promo does kick off September 30th this Friday to coincide with the release of the game itself for FIFA 23. Now, currently I'm on the game through early access, through pre-ordering one of the more premium editions of the game. Now, this Di Maria card is being kind of given to us as like an early access. I wouldn't call it rewards because you're still got to go and complete and submit stuff into the SBC, but something to kind of get ourselves into that ones to watch theme. And yeah, it was 84 rated Di Maria. I guess we'll use him, with him being the only ones to watch card in the game right now. We'll use him as the case study as to how the three different pathways could increase this card from an 84 rated to, who knows, maybe like an 87, an 88, an 89. And the two pathways and the three pathways this year, one of them is from individual performances, two of them are from team/nation performances. So first of all, we'll focus on, and I know that a lot of people, if they've been playing FIFA for previous years, now will already know about the domestic team and the individual performances as to how they can get further increases on their ones to watch cards. But a few people, this might be their first year ever playing FIFA, so we're going to cover all bases. So first of all, let's talk about the individual performances. So if Di Maria, for any point now, from September 30th, or yeah, from September 30th to the end of this game cycle, so like July next year, if he is included in any team of the week, or if he receives any man of the match, his ones to watch card will receive an upgrade. And with him being an 84 rated, if he was to get, let's say for example, this weekend, if Di Maria was to play for Juventus, to be honest, I don't even know if he's a guaranteed starter for Juventus right now. I know he's a new transfer from PSG, but I don't know if he actually gets into their starting 11 on a consistent basis. But who knows, maybe he might come on as a sub on the weekend in Serie A. He might score 2 goals. If he was to come away with 2 goals, you would like to think the chances are he would probably then be included in the following team of the week, which always comes out the Wednesday after a round of domestic games that take place on the weekend before. Now, 2 goals you would like to think would be enough for him to be included in the following upcoming team of the week. Typically for an attacker, which Di Maria is, usually a 1-goal return won't often be enough. So just getting like 1 goal or 1 assist, sometimes it can be enough, but more often than not, an attacking player needs to get typically 2 returns. And for some of the really high tier players, so when Haaland gets his card, sometimes he's going to need 3 goal contributions to be able to be included in team of the week, 2 goals or 1 assist or a hat trick or whatever. But for Di Maria, I would say if he was to go and get 2 goals on the weekend against whoever Juve are playing, or in any particular weekend game, the chances are he would then be included in the upcoming team of the week. And with this 84 rated, let's say for that first weekend, yes, he gets those 2 goals, he's in team of the week. It means he get himself like an 84 rated inform card, but then your ones to watch card will go from an 84 rated to an 86 rated, because pathways mean that any card that's an 84 rated and gets a performance-based increase won't go to 85. They get the +2 jump to an 86. Then after that, any other future performance-based upgrades are only +1 from an 86 onwards. They don't jump by 2. That stops after it's an 84 going to an 86. After that, it's an 87, 88, 89, etc. Just to kind of make you guys a little bit aware of that. I think if Di Maria was like an 81 and he got his first performance-based card, he'd go to an 84. And then you go to an 86, and then 87, 88, 89. So hopefully people start to get the picture from that. And again, man of the match cards as well. Man of the match cards usually don't come out till around Christmas time, so we're a long way from that. I don't know why EA never bothered to release them before Christmas time, but they always take ages to put man of the match cards into games. So individual performances, any increases for Di Maria are most likely to come from team of the week. But make sure you do your research. Is Di Maria even a guaranteed starter for Juventus? I'm not too sure. The good thing is you don't just have to rely with one to watch cards on team of the week and individual performance-based performances to get upgrades. There are 2 ways through teams. The first one being through their domestic teams in their domestic league games. So with Di Maria starting from, and this doesn't just apply to Di Maria, this applies to every single one to watch card that comes out from Friday. Starting from Friday, September 30th, for the next 8 games that Di Maria has got and that Juventus have got, not including European games, not including Coppa Italia, purely domestic Serie A games. So those next 8 matches, if Juventus win 3 of those 8 matches, it doesn't have to come consecutively or anything like that. Di Maria doesn't have to play in those games. As long as Juventus win 3 of those next 8 games, he gets an upgrade. So let's say, for example, Di Maria is injured now till next January. You'll be thinking, okay, shit, I'm screwed now on the individual performance-based upgrade. However, if you were to go and win 3 in the next 8 games, he will still get that upgrade. He'll go from an 84 to an 86 rated. So we still get a fairly nice little upgrade. So the good thing is, for cards like Di Maria, where he's not a guaranteed starter, or at least I don't think he's a guaranteed starter, and he can be injury prone, he has been throughout his whole career, at least you don't have to just always rely on individual performances and him consistently starting and him consistently playing well. You can just have that team interest with Juventus actually winning games, and you would like to think Juventus, they are still one of the big 4 or 5 teams in Italy, they would be able to win 3 of their next 8 domestic games. It might not happen 3 games in a row. You'd very much like to think it could happen, but it does give a good cover of time. They're 3 matches in 8 games. That, you know, they are going to win 3 of their next 8 matches. I'm pretty confident of that. It might take them all 8 domestic matches, which could take a couple months potentially, but it would happen. The other final upgrade and the brand new one for this year is all around the World Cup. And this is going to be good for a few cards and not so good for some other ones. So, for example, with Haaland, this 3rd upgrade is useless because with the World Cup, of course, there'll be no domestic football at all in the major leagues for over the space of, 5 to 6 weeks or whatever. But any ones to watch cards that are in their nation teams, or if their nation, I don't think they actually have to go to the World Cup itself, as long as they are part of a nation that has gone to the World Cup. And of course, Argentina will be at this World Cup. I think they're in the same group as Saudi Arabia, Poland and Mexico. As long as they win, I believe it's just 1 game in the World Cup. So, you know, Argentina just winning one of their group games, he would also get an upgrade. So, you know, let's say, for example, at this point, Juventus haven't hit those 8 wins, or haven't hit those 3 wins in 8 matches or whatever, and it's already come to the World Cup. There's going to be the interest in you following Argentina, in that he could also get another upgrade. And again, he wouldn't need to play in that match. He could just be on the bench. And I don't even think he'd have to go to the World Cup itself. As long as his nation was represented at the World Cup, that's going to be enough. Now, for cards, as I said before, like Haaland, that's not going to be good because Norway aren't in the World Cup. So he's screwed a little bit on that side. But you'd like to think that most cards that are going to be in ones to watch do play for the more bigger nations, where they should be going to the World Cup, those particular nations. So it does add that 3rd area to be able to get upgrades, of course, which is very good for someone like Di Maria, where, as I mentioned before, someone like Haaland, yeah, it's a bit of a shame that Norway aren't going to the World Cup, so it removes that team perspective of an upgrade, but he's playing for City, so you'd very highly fancy City to get 3 wins in the next 8 matches, and you'd very fancy him as well, as long as he stays injury-free, to get a lot of individual performance-based informs over the course of the year. Now, at Di Maria, you don't fancy him as much. He's still very, very capable of it, but you don't fancy him as much as Haaland to get as many individual performance-based increases on his cards, getting in in team of the week or whatever. But the good thing is he's got 2 team areas of being in Juventus and also being from Argentina, and Argentina have got a very, very good group, and where you'd very much like to think that they could at least win 1 game in the whole tournament. And so that is how ones to watch players upgrade in FIFA 23. Hopefully I've explained that as clear as possible. If you've got any questions, of course, leave them in the comment section as well. I like the way that they've added this third path methods. Who knows, potentially Di Maria, Juve could go and win 3 games in a row, and starting from September 30th. Yeah, he could be injured until next January or whatever, but maybe they win those 3 games, he goes up to an 86 rated, and then in the World Cup, Argentina beats Poland or whatever in their first game, and then he's an 87 rated card before Christmas. So, and as an 87 rated card, he'd actually probably be half, despite the 2-star week 4, he'd actually be half decent as an 87 rated card, you could actually imagine. So yeah, even for cards like this where they don't look the most insane at the moment, he's got that lack in pace and shooting with a few team performance-based increases, he's actually going to be a really, really good card. EA aren't just limiting these cards to individual performance-based ways to be able to get increases, which is great. I'm a big fan of that. So yeah, any questions though, leave them in the comment section. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later.